one theme which runs through Parshat Eikev is the theme of Schar va'onesh. It begins with the very beginning of the parsha. V'haya Eikev tishma'u et hamishpatim ha'ele ushmartem va'asitem otam. Right, following the mitzvos. It goes on for several psukim with all of the many positive results of doing so. Uvirach pri vitnecha, ufriyad matecha, deganecha, v'tiroshcha, v'yitzarecha. Hashem will bless offspring and crops. Baruch tiyeh mikol ha'amim, will be more blessed than all nations. V'hisir Hashem mimecha kol choli, will have no sickness. And then a few psukim later it turns to the flip side. V'hayayim shachoach tishkach et Hashem elokecha, if we, God forbid, forget Hashem, with all of the negative results of that. Then again in Shishi of the Parsha, it turns to this topic again in psukim which are extremely familiar to us. They comprise the second paragraph of Kriyat Shema. Right, as we start off, V'haya im shamot yishmeu el mitzvotai, right, if we listen, and the positive results of that, V'natati matar tzechem bi'ito, will get rain at the right time, right, V'asavta deganecha, v'tiroshcha v'yitzarecha, all the crops will come perfectly. And then, of course, the flip side. Hishamru lachem penifte levavchem, right? If we turn our hearts and we, God forbid, worship anybody other than Hashem, right? The negative results from that then come. V'chara af Hashem bachem ve'atzaret hashamayim v'lo yihi amatar, no rain. Ve'adama lo titena divula, no crops. Ve'avadtem mehira me'al ha'aretz hatova, no homeland. Now, all of this seems completely fine until we remember one critically important principle in the whole Hashkafat HaTorah. And that is, I'll quote from Pirkei Avos, Ha'olam hazeh domeh leprosdor bifnei ha'olam haba. That really, Olam hazeh is a vestibule or a lobby before Olam haba. And as it continues, Hatkein atzmecha ba'prosdor k'dei shetikanes latraklin. What we're doing here in Olam hazeh is just preparing ourselves to enter the real place, Olam haba. This Ma'amar Chazal captures the Torah's hashkafa to Olam Hazeh. Olam Hazeh has no intrinsic significance whatsoever. Just as a vestibule or a lobby has no significance unto itself, but rather it's a preparation room for the hall, the real room. Olam Hazeh is not the real existence, it's simply a preparation time for what is the real existence, Olam Haba. And we know that all real schar is paid back in terms of Chayei HaOlam Haba. In that case, how do we understand all the promises in Torah, which specifically we have in our parsha, in Parshas Eikev? But a lot of the schar in the Torah throughout is promised in very Olam Hazeh terms, very Olam Hazeh manifestations of health and wealth and peace. The Rambam in Mishnah Torah asks this question. In Hilchos Tshuva, in Perek Tet, the Rambam says, the Rambam raises this exact question and provides an answer which is invaluable to us for all of its perspective on Olam Hazeh. The Rambam says that these manifestations of schar are not sof matan scharan shel mitzvot. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning of the story of the schar. He says as follows, that when we observe the mitzvot, when we listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what Hashem then does is sends us the conditions which are conducive to further shmiras Torah mitzvos. These are his words. When we listen to Hashem, yashpia lanu kol hatovot hamachzikot et yadenu la'asot haTorah. Everything that strengthens our ability to do more mitzvos, Hashem sends us. Health and wealth, peace, right? And yasir mimenu kol hadvarim hamoneim otanu mila'asota. Hashem removes any of the stumbling blocks which would prevent us from observing the mitzvos, so that then we'll be free from worrying about our physical needs, and we'll be free ela neshev pnuyim. We'll be free lilmod b'chokhmah v'la'asot hamitzvah k'dei shenizkeh l'chayei ha'olam haba. We'll use those intermediaries, those vehicles, to be able to be free to do the real things and get the real schar in olam haba. So, turning back to our parsha, to see these rewards of wealth, or health, or peace as ends unto themselves is really a silliness. For that would imply that our existence in Olam Hazeh is a life with importance unto itself, and that whole perspective is antithetical to Torah. But to view the wealth, and the health, and the peace as means for a greater end, to use these matanos to be free from any other worries, to be able to then be immersed in Torah and mitzvos, and thereby get schar ba'olam haba, that is the proper Torah perspective. Now, we all know that it's a real avoda to view one's real, full life in Olam Hazeh as lacking intrinsic significance, and to view one's comforts here as being solely intended as means to facilitate asek b'Torah v'mitzvos. That is a really hard job. But we also see that time and time again that is exactly what Chazal tell us, that the nisayon of life is to know how to view Olam Hazeh, to view our lives here in the proper perspective, so that Kadei Shetikanes Latraklin will be able to enjoy Chayei Olam Haba.